Welcome to the show. Creative Universe Checkpoint Earth presents Twin Flames Inside the Womb. Union News, Twin Flame Inner Work. Key is unique. The real Twin Flame work happens on the inside, and it will guaranteed manifest outside. In this series of lives, I share about what that means for my union consciousness process to inspire you to find yours. It serves as the source for your daily Twin Flame news. Today on the show, we have Twin Flame Inner Work Key is unique. Yeah, and that is the tool that is central that you need to use. Yes, we also have like the energy work that supports that is also unique. And we have more things that support that and broaden that, etc. But this is the central tool. It's called Key. I've talked about it a lot. It has 4 steps. It's actually very easy. And that's the essence of what you need, absolutely need, to get into harmonious union, the consciousness state. And that's where your twin flame experience, life, relationship, family, mission, business, everything comes to bloom. It's like an absolute bloom in the space of eternity. And that is really true. It asks a shift from you. And that's exactly what this tool does. The Key tool makes you shift, like in your sort of invisible presence. That's where the shift needs to happen. Not in you becoming a better manipulator of materials and people, as if you're playing chess. No. The shift is in the invisible inner space, inner world, inner body. And it's very doable because we have this tool, Key. By now we have 4 versions, admittedly, but they all come down to the same thing. They're just slightly different approaches to the same thing. They all have 4 steps. They're all easy. Yeah. So this is unique, pretty unique that we have that. The core of what you need, and that I just give it to you as well. Just here it is. Here it is. In my links, in my Facebook group, in the file section of the Facebook group, downloads, in the monthly workshop in the Facebook group, of course, in your sessions with me, in a blog on my website. It's just here. I talked about it for years on my social media, my personal Facebook account, my personal Instagram account. We also have Creative Universe ones of both types. I talked about it for a couple years, how it works, what to do, over and over and over. So it's very extremely available to you, but it's very unique. And it's very different than other things. And other things can't come in the place of it for Twin Flame success. And that's what we'll zoom into a little bit today, later in the show. Let me know in the chat where you are watching from. Add a heart for desiring union and a flame for calling in the consciousness state of harmonious union. Make a comment, and I know that you are listening. That would be wonderful. Then you are involved. The Twin Flame Union Consciousness Wisdom of the Day. Twin flames are supernatural or natural or both companions throughout time and dimensions. They simply are not separate. The challenge, however, is in living this simple truth rooted on earth now in peace. Yeah, I mean, that sums it up, right? That sums it up, why you're here, why we're meeting. Because twin flames are supernatural companions. There's nothing you can do about it. You are already together there. It's nothing can come between that. And that's absolute. But you experience on earth in the flesh temporarily before you're there that you are separate, and you're sad about that or angry about that or both, or so many things can be going on in the physical that seem to be going against this simple truth that you are not separate. So that's where the work is, to bring that deeper reality that you first need to completely accept in the heart. There's a lot that happens there already. And then you need to bring that to the flesh, so called, right? To the daily life, to the material world, where we meet as faces on screens, but also bodies in the flesh in real life. Yeah. That's where you want to bring it. That's where it needs to come down to. It's literally like taking steps down to manifest here. This truth that is already true, already yours, already in the pocket. But now it's just going to be, more real than ever. The real is like the inner thing and the outer thing, and then aligned with each other every moment. Isn't that a prayer? So that's where the difficulty is. That's where people step into guidance, people step into coaching, people step into my school, because they really want to bring that together. And that's a wonderful thing, because it really will be like the groundwork for the rest of your lives in eternity. The groundwork that will make you so happy and so healed and so prosperous as well. I'm not kidding you. That's absolutely part of it. When you've completely brought this alignment in action. Money too. Everything will line up on a level that is exactly this twin flame thing that you already are in the depth of your being. And how do we do that? Well, actually, that's the same thing. That's the whole topic of today, right? That is the key tool. That is the central thing that you need. It contains, among others, that you feel your feelings and don't step over them. But it also contains the idea that you need to turn them around. And then feel where that brought you. That's what it involves. And, well, that's a journey. That is the journey. And that works exponentially bigger when we do that together, even when it's you and me in private sessions, but then also in a group of like 9 people. That enhances the efficiency and the effectiveness of doing this inner work immensely. And that's, by the way, what we're going to do, because I do open the doors for a program for 9 people on May the 1st. So now you know. Anyway, so yeah, that's the whole deal. That's the whole thing. That's why we do the key tool. That's why we do this kind of inner work. That's why I am on the internet. That's also, by the way, the only reason that I'm on the internet, right? Otherwise, I just might be like communing with Divine Mother all day and being very happy with that. And of course, like building on my own twin flame experience, progression of the relationship, building of what we're going to build, etc. Yeah. But I'm on the internet because this is what I share for you to use it so that you also can get it. The ACIM lesson of the day, the A Course in Miracles, the book that holds the Christ consciousness lessons that help you get into union consciousness instead of separation consciousness. The lesson of today from that book is 72. Holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. While we have recognized that the ego's plan for salvation is the opposite of God's, we have not yet emphasized that it is an attack on his plan and a deliberate attempt to destroy it. In the attack, God is assigned the attributes which are actually associated with the ego, while the ego appears to take on the attributes of God. The ego's fundamental wish is to replace God. In fact, the ego is the physical embodiment of that wish. For it is that wish that seems to surround the mind with a body, keeping it separate and alone, and unable to reach other minds except through the body that was made to imprison it. The limit on communication cannot be the best means to expand communication. Yet, the ego would have you believe that it is. There's more, and you can read it just like all the notes, all the show notes of this show on my Patreon. And the link is below. Patreon.com/PEJ@CreativeUniverse. And there will be the link to the whole lesson, link to the other sources, full texts, etc. Really helpful. And on the Patreon, you'll also have influence on the shows. You'll be able to, in time, give me a few days, watch secret videos with more like spicy or like, more like secretive topics, right? That I can't bring out in the open. And the Patreons of the higher tier, they also get deals that I will give out nowhere else. And they will be very good. So yeah, I hope you come over to my Patreon. This lesson 72, holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation, holds so many topics inside of it, like too many to discuss today. But holding grievances is an attack on God's plan for salvation. Means that there is a plan, it's God's plan. But the ego thinks it has a plan, and that's not valid. Because when we step into our desire that we want to be with a true twin flame, then God's plan is going to be effectuated. And you can quicken that, and you can surrender more to it, and you can actively let go of that ego. And these are all the things that you need to do, you need to work on. That's what we do in the Twin Flame Inner Work with the key tool. So there is this plan for salvation, and it does contain you being together with your true twin flame. It does. Because you'll be led to union consciousness there, union with God. And that necessarily means you're going to be with your true twin flame, because that's what you are there. It's your identity there. That's a given. So that will manifest there. But we have all the time, we have things that hold us back from surrendering in it, doing it, going for God's plan in salvation. And that is, we hold grievances. We have things in our heart that we place there that hold us back. Feelings, emotions, things about other people, about relationships often. And yes, in the relationship between you and the twin flame, that plays a role, of course, all the time. Hugely. It's like, but they did it and not me. But they are an asshole, not me. But they called me names, but they walked away, but they need to mature. But they blocked me on Instagram. But they refused to pick up the phone. But they deny me a relationship. And these are the grievances that hold you back from surrendering into God's plan that is going to be being with your twin flame in union on the earth, in the flesh. And lesson 72 specifically explains to us that these grievances are actually an attack on God and God's plan and God's union consciousness and God's being in union with your twin flame inside the union consciousness. You're actually attacking that. You're actively attacking God's plan for you to be in union. And we don't realize that. That's the essence of lesson 72. That we don't realize that because we believe in the ego. We are in the ego. We think we are the ego. We think we are God. And that God is the ego. And that's what we unconsciously, seemingly by accident, still believe in. Because otherwise we would already be in union with our true twin flames forever after, sealed into that joyful state. So you are doing that, and that's like bad news almost. Like, what? You must be kidding me. I'm doing it myself. I'm attacking God. And that's why I can't step into my union consciousness and be with my twin flame. I am attacking God. And I don't even realize that. Well, that's bad. That's negative. That's bad news. But it's also good news. And maybe we should focus on that side of things. It's good news because now we know the truth. And now we can start to work, do the inner work, do the key tool, right? Do the inner work to release ourselves of this situation that we brought ourselves into, in which we're even attacking God without realizing that we're doing that. So, yeah, wow, we need to be sort of saved from this situation, right? And that's what the key tool does. It really always makes you aware of, oh, I didn't realize that I was actually doing this. And then you're brought into a new space where that is released. And beautiful qualities are being shown to you that you actually already have there as a soul instead of the ego. That's where the key tool brings you. Yeah. I'm looking once more at the lesson of today. So it also says to things like the ego made the body to imprison itself. Because in this ACIM course, one of the most fundamental things that are being taught here is that you are not a body. You are, well, let's sort of say, the invisible inhabitant of the body, but then you still need, you sort of give the body a place. You just exist as a soul. It's like an invisible presence. And now and then we have a body when we dream that we're born on the world. Then we have a body temporarily. But we're still that invisible soul. And when we let go of the body, then we're still that invisible soul. So that's what you are. And the body is actually just part of the ego dream. And that seems like a far-reaching idea, but that's really the basis of what ACM teaches, just to free you up to truly see the reality from God's perspective in which twin flames live. And truly like wake you up in what that means. And that you can still live your body life, but it will change quality because of this shift in awareness. That's the shift we're looking for. We have a segment of one of my books, because that is also something we do every time. And it is a segment that was about, that I opened the book and there it was, and it was about what is inner abundance? Because all these things that we talked about until now, they open up your inner abundance. But what is that? And how do I know if I am on the path to it? 3 of 11 facts we're going to discuss today, and the rest you need to read in the book. Inner abundance is growing towards states of being first, and then see your money and relationship goals come into being and mature through that. This brings effortless, peaceful, and ultimate results that are eternally lasting because it is achieved by the soul, the timeless part of you, as opposed to the personality alone. There is an actual experiential pathway that leads to it, and you know you are on it when 1. Manifesting your ultimate dreams in tangible results comes from going deeper in your relationship to your soul that has a relationship to source. You fully trust that this is so, and you are open to feeling your way towards really experiencing this directly in your energy field as well. 2. When you are on the path, you always choose the option of going deeper, even when you see outside things or people fall away, and even if that worries you to a degree. The results are a byproduct, in a way, of walking an authentic path with a pure heart infinitely. 3. Holding on to the acquired riches of the personality is not your priority any longer, and you learn the art of surrender in real life more and more. This brings about your deeper, more authentic and true identity that brings you in another flow of creativity. You are open to birth your creative identity, which is your way of being in birthing everything from that inner source. So it does not mean that you're not acquiring riches anymore, but you're placing your source for it somewhere else. Definitively and continually, and that opens up an entirely new space in which these abundance, riches, energy, money, relationships, resources come from some place where it is simply given to you unconditionally. And you can stand in that flow where it is like given and given and given, and you can open yourself to truly allow yourself to receive. Yeah. So that's from the Emerald Itinerary at page 141. And that is one of the 3 books in the paper book, Twin Flames, Manifesting Your Abundant Life of Love, that I wrote. The Oracle Guidance of the Day. Let's have a look inside the Union and Mission cards. I pre-shuffled them already, and I'm seeing this card. So here we go. D 3.4. All right. An inherently anchored process that is attuned to an essential procedure. Well, that sounds pretty complicated, but this is exactly what we're talking about here. The whole healing process we're talking about today, the inner twin flame work with the key tool, is this. It's like having a wand and having it do magic. But it's also this sentence that I just read. It's like an internally anchored process instead of in the world. It's internally anchored. And it is attuned to an essential procedure. It is attuned to, well, let's say, the flow of the universe and how it flows through uniquely your union core. Well, that's what we're touching on today. That's what we're doing and making and touching on with the twin flame inner work, with the key tool. And that's also why it is unique, because no other tools do that. More in a minute, I think. But let's first read the text of this card, of the union part of things, and the mission part we'll leave behind and you'll read in Patreon. Acknowledging yourself. Oh, the card title is Living Your Energy Signature. That's possible through the twin flame inner work with the key tool, indeed. Acknowledging yourself for where you truly are helps. Not where you think you are, while you are in fact kidding yourself and others as well. A real disservice to your twin flame that might be trapped because of it unknowingly. This can happen quite unconsciously when you are at the same time fooling yourself. But we do not need to be judgmental about this. See it for what it is. Forgive yourself. Feel the ground underneath the lie. Stand on it and move further to new grounds. Acknowledging yourself comes first. And when you then move on this true ground, your twin flame can acknowledge you there with their very being. You reveal the value of the moment, of yourself, of your union with your twin flame through this process. Your creation is the same as your truth, and blessed is the moment in which a new truth surfaces in its fullness. In the holistic relationship inside of union, you do indeed have the patience to let the truth surface. This goes for the creation of the twin flame relationship so that your love is truthful. But this also goes for your position in your relationships outside of your union. Your position when you are relating from the soul is often unclear for third parties. They could really possibly not see you, and this can lead to many misunderstandings that you will need to navigate by making a choice between being assertive or letting the other be, depending on the situation. Sometimes more people will fall away than you ever could have foreseen on this journey of soulful self-acknowledgement. Once you go through the gate, you will paradoxically still arrive at your union's abundance. And that is not always made out of social love, but it is always made out of divine love. It is made out of peace. It is appropriate for you and your twin flame, and is your silent and enormous contribution to a new heaven on earth. Standing on your own in your union and living your story of divine love inside of that is what will attract your twin flame and your social life around that as well, whether this will be slow or fast, completely at once or in drops of moments that increase gradually. Show who and what you are. Have patience, and your union's energy signature and environment collide in the most appropriate way. Well, that feels pretty complete. And this is a very high number card in my system. We're sort of at the end. Let's see. We just Well, this is very interesting. I read the wrong text. This was beautiful and very appropriate. But we're going now extra also to the actual text of the actual card that I pulled. That is really at the end of my deck. Oh my gosh, what happened today? That's weird. So, the coming together of creation through the process. So I needed to read a little bit more for you about the process because that's what we're talking about today, the process, the inner work, the key tool, right? That's the process. But this card actually refers to the outcome of the process, the coming together of creation. All right. Well, let's read this one and see where we're getting now, because this might be the definitive answer. When your inner attunement is completed, the reality of your dreams will come to visit you. This is a moment of standing at the beginning of grand joy. You have fulfilled yourself by now with enough energy to experience peace and depth in yourself, qualities that can now be shared by you because you are overflowing with it. This moment asks, however, before the feast of creation goes into high speed, some silent enjoyment and the anticipation, some extra rest, taking care of yourself, and keep grounding. By not making your creation compulsory, not focus on it too much, it stays full and free. Creation comes because there is space for the universe to fill, not because you take in space by seeing if it's already arrived, by keeping busy with preparations or requirements about what will happen in every detail. Instead of that, focus on your energetic how, your creative identity. Mine is transform and manifest as one. And I can feel those two movements work together in my body and energy field as a fruitful, self-motivating action. This is how I can be with it in a sensitive way. And that is my focus, while my source arranges further for my creation in the steps that I do not have control over. Through letting the energy circle in my own space, I prepare for new co-creation to come in that fits exactly. Gratitude is appropriate and helpful at this stage. You have arrived at this plateau of creation. Enjoy this moment with full attention and see the puzzle pieces of union come together. Your magnetic power is large at this point. Be conscious of how you show your twin flame who and what you are by how you act. You will be met equally when you can stay present with an empty space full of vibrating energy. And that is the last card of my deck. Wow. See the puzzle pieces come together from first going through the through the process with the inner work with the key tool. So that's how you get there, at the place where the puzzle pieces completely fall together and you're just a high vibrational container that is the witness of that, and you don't stand in the way of that. That's where the inner work leads you to. That's why we do the key tool. And that makes us go to this new section of today's show. Twin flame inner work key is unique. It's unique, people. You can't get this anywhere else. And that's the beauty of it. it was originally gifted to me, this key tool for twin flame inner work. Well, it's key to use it for everyone, but it's also called the key because I kept on finding keys on my path, on my meditative walks in front of my feet, physically, at the time when it was given me. And it was originally gifted me by Divine Mother around 2011 in a rudimentary form that in a sense we don't use anymore, but I still pass it on in the specific e-course with Divine Mother that you could obtain from me. And later on, I developed more of a simple 4 steps. And then I started to co-create with the Christ Masters on Earth right now that are here to roll out the consciousness space of Harmonious Twin Flame Union. And I realized that what they were saying and doing and having was also key, but a little bit of a different version. And we do that version now too. And then there's even another version that I developed later when I already brought a couple people completely in their Harmonious Twin Flame Union success with it. And that's where it was given me to also have and use the trauma version of it. So that makes in total 4 versions. In 2011, when it was first given to me, it was really a magical moment and a magical time in which I was sitting in somewhat damp and shadowy chapel regularly to be with Divine Mother and meditate with her. And someone came up to me and gave me a prayer card. And when I studied it later at home, I discovered that there were all kinds of ideas on that were new to me. I have never seen this ever again, this prayer card. And also these ideas I had never seen again in that environment, I mean. Really rare person that came up to me that I did not know, that gave it to me, sent by the angels. And one of the ideas was to turn things around. And that would be an essential help for you. And that became a central feature in what I was developing. Because I already, like 1.5 decades before that, was doing yoga meditation with a true teacher. And actually, everything that I experienced there and then felt upside down from what the personality, the ego world, the world was doing. So I already was aware of this, some sort of a strange shift, strange sort of like, but everything is upside down here movement. But that was more, we were like more doing the yoga, we were also like talking with the teacher and going to retreats. But this was more like Divine Mother just gave it to me and showed me that you could just put it on paper in a few steps with remarkably few words. And this actually spoke to me because I'm really a wordy person. But I didn't necessarily start to do it all correctly and right away and all the time. I just took a whole couple years, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, to really work myself into that. Now, you don't need to do all that anymore, right? I'm just giving it to you, and I can just guide you. But I needed to work myself through what that was. But I have to say, after a couple of years, I had my own key version actually complete. But then I still needed to sort of really do it myself. Eventually, I had done it myself to an enough degree that I was in Harmonious Twin Flame Union in March 2020, that was. And then I had to try this technique out on you guys. And now we're there. We've had that stage as well. We did that stage. It's completed. I brought 4 persons completely in Harmonious Twin Flame Union, the consciousness state, by using essentially this tool and this underlying principle, supported by the energy work that is also unique, etc., that I also developed in together with Divine Mother, but we're not focusing on that today. And that brings us again today, where it is given and brought me there and brought some of you there. It has been proven. It has been shared all over the internet, what I said at the beginning. I have, for a handful of years, shared the technique on my social media, on my Instagram, on my Facebook, in the Facebook group, in explanations, in posts, in pictures, in videos, in workshops online, and for free. And the most explanation that you can just obtain just like that is actually at this moment in our Facebook group called Your Abundance. So you would be very welcome to just simply join and try it out and study a little bit the information about it. Come to the workshop that we have every month about it. And then phase yourself deeper into the work, because that remains necessary to get the true and full results that I'm talking about. Because even though the key tool is, well, unique, efficient, effective, it does what it promises to completion. And by the way, you still do it after Harmonious Union, and you still do this because there's more healing afterwards, so that you know. But even though that is the only thing that you need, I have seen that it is difficult for people to not have guidance. So you need the guidance as well to go really deep with it. And that's just a beautiful opportunity to make it real, to make everything completely click in, as the Oracle card of the day said as well. Let all the puzzle pieces come together and see union click together for you, and be the witness of that process blessedly. Yeah, so beautiful. It makes my heart so full. It just makes me feel like I almost can't speak anymore, because it's so full of this blessed energy that keeps on giving, that I feel right now when I talk about it, that comes from Divine Mother. That is just her exercise to make that happen, so that you do feel that fullness all the time. It's the fullness that you already are at the core of your being, because you already are a twin flame in union, in that fullness of divine love that flows in and in and in all the time, and makes you receive of this divine nectar that the twin flame promises, which is true. And yeah, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. I'm just so filled with it. But that's the whole point. That's where the key exercise brings you. And it's a journey, and you need to bust yourself through what holds you back from experiencing it. And there can be moments that it seems undoable for you to bust through this blockage. But you will do it, especially when you're guided. And that's how you will take away every block that blocks you from experiencing this enormous, rich abundance. Your twin flame abundance. That is real, that is already here, but we have blockages built against it. And the only thing you do is take these blockages away, and then you just sink into this divine love. But it needs to be done. It needs to be executed. There are many steps. There are many key exercises that you need to do. In the sense, also, you could say you only need to do one, but you need to do this one key exercise that's unique for your union, that is exactly the one that opens that lock. And we often don't know ourselves what that exactly is for us. That's also why you need the guidance, and why you need to persist, and why you need to keep on doing the exercise until you find it, and until you work through it. In a sense, you could say you only do one big key exercise, but you do it in very many instances to sort of work against it, work through it. Maybe that's better to say, work through it until you're fully through it, what that was for you that you needed to work through. And then you've completed it, and you will know when it's complete, because these things will clarify themselves very clearly in your process, in your experiential field. Don't be mistaken. It does lead somewhere, and it is so concrete, and it is so precise. It will blow you away. It does bring you somewhere. Yeah. Your twin flame will be there, just so that we don't forget that your twin flame will be there right in front of you. I'm not kidding you. And this is also what makes the key tool unique, because it's the only tool, supported by the energy work and the other things, etc., the only tool that does that. And it brings you to harmonious twin flame union, so that you know that it is your true twin flame. You will be together in the joy of it and not in the problems of it. You will be eternally together. It will open the door towards your harmonious abundance that will start to flow in the form of energy and money and resources and relationships and everything that your heart truly desires in any life area starts to flow to you. And this consciousness state is the only way to arrive there in that true state, and to know that it is real, it's true, and you are there, and you did it and stuff. And that's a big part of what I say that will happen to you, that will be exactly precise and very clear, not vague or cloudy at all. Maybe you think I'm vague and cloudy, but I am just naturally, I am a dreamy person. So if you don't like that, yeah, I don't know, too bad for you. I'm a dreamy person, but this thing leads you to the only full clarity there exists in the entire universe. I can assure you that. And you will be yourself. So if you are a non-dreamy person, you will be that exact non-dreamy person right there, definitively, and with full clarity, etc. And in the truth of the divine, and with your true twin flame. The fact that I'm a dreamy person doesn't necessarily come with it. You will be absolutely sobered up. Absolutely sobered up. It's the only place where we are sobered up. Many people in society think they're so sobered up and so concrete and so on. But when you are in that state of consciousness, you will see that they're drunk of illusions. People don't realize that, but that's the truth of the matter. And that's just how it is. We're still rolling this out. People long for the making come true of it and be together with their twin flame and live this new kind of life that we all can live now. But most are not there yet, but some are called. And some of the people that are called can be brought there by doing the twin flame inner work with key and guidance. It's unique. It's unique. Well, the only other place where you can get it is at the Christ Masters School. All right, I'll give you that. And you are allowed to go there. But I can't tell you where it is. You'll need to pray. And you'll receive your answer. If you really want to. Otherwise, you need to stay here. And that's beautiful. That's a blessing. I would want to have a relationship with you. Let's do that together. Yeah, absolutely. But it's unique, especially also relative to all kinds of other things and tools and whatnot. Because maybe you think to yourself like, oh my gosh, I already have so many tools and so many things I need to think about every day. And I need to be mindful of my autism, and I need to do mindfulness meditations every morning, and I need to eat healthy, and I need to find a new fitness plan, and I need to, look deeper into my psychological health, and I need to go back to therapy because I think I need it. And, I also have a narcissistic abuse history. I need to look into that more. And there's so much theory about that. We need to work that out and read about it every day and stuff, and do exercises to fight it. And so many things. So many self-care, and I need to do my nails and sit in my Epsom salt bath, and I have so many things and tools and coachings already going. And I mean, do I really need to have some extra? Don't you think, Petra, that the twin flame, okay, it is like a divine love. So we just maybe we just need a little bit more of Epsom salt baths, and a little bit more of going to my therapist, and a little bit more of eating healthy and doing my yoga exercises every day, and look better into the narcissistic abuse theory, and do those exercises every day, Isn't that what we all need to do? Or do we need to look into how can we be more kind with people among each other? Or maybe we should just look into how was our attachment formed as a young child in relationship to our caregivers, our mother often, and what went wrong there, and how can I overcome that? Maybe I need to read, a couple of books of that. Or maybe I just need to pray more, right? I need to maybe learn more prayers by heart, like original, or I actually mean traditional prayers of my religion that I learned as a child, and just do more of that. Isn't that what we need to do? Okay. So even though all these things have values, for people, they represent something, they're all in a layer, in a human level that is non-twin flame specific. And what you need is to work in the layer of yourself of being a human that is twin flame specific. And that is here is all the psychological work and physical work and mental work and emotional work, and maybe also the religious work that with the tradition that you're used to. And it all comes together in this pointer that says, but here is the key to it all. Here is the key to your twin flame union that will represent and open a life that encompasses all of that, but in a repaired way and in an order that is well, let's say, dictated by that twin flame union and that level of life that is directly connected to God and is very close to that, to where you come from, where you originate from. Doing the key tool is actually moving you from this whole place of all these things that certainly represent a certain value and make you level up to the twin flame union level where you can be with your true twin flame, after which you can integrate all these things. A beautiful healed psychology, a really divinely formed body by true nutrition, a program that makes you move, that feels good for your energy household in a divinely connected way, and all the other things. So it is like we're just working on another level, and key even like makes you work towards that other level and make that come true so that you can reintegrate all these things that have value to you. And this new perspective that opens up, that is from the twin flame union, from doing the key tool, gives you actually the perspective on all these topics and psychological questions and trauma-related pasts and health and feel-good practices, etc., that are divinely aligned and connected to your twin flame life in heaven on earth, and how they should be connected to that life. It just shows you that. Because the key tool opens up a whole new space in your being where all these topics will come together. Where all these topics have their genuine, definitive place. Maybe not all at once. That's a process too. When you arrive doing the key tool, arrive in harmonious union consciousness. And then it's also a process of making that union consciousness that you have now touch all your fields of life, all your fields of psychology, all your fields of emotion, all your fields of mental life, all your fields of physical life. That's a process. Everything will be healed into that. But it just brought you onto another level, completely and utterly. And that's where twin flames are easily together and just are naturally together and just are lovingly together in the embrace of God. And there's nothing more natural. You will experience that there. So even though there are many psychological tools and maybe like semi-spiritual tools that also look a little bit like psychology and all kinds of things that seem helpful, they don't bring you in that other level. Only the key tool does, supported by the energy work and under guidance. And that's what that is. It's beautiful that it exists because it makes you integrate the rest. And also, it makes you show you, is that a right way of saying it? Well, it makes you see, have insight in how you can still, in that other level where it brought you in union consciousness, benefit from things that are in the other level, are in the psychological level. Because when you will be healed with the key tool, you might very well become aware that you slowly become truly healed in a certain psychological aspect. And that the key tool makes that complete for you. And then you go back to your psychology course and you see, oh gosh, look at that. We just healed this complete chapter to completion with the key tool. And you'll see in that psychology book, oh, this just explains what I have been going through in my twin flame inner work. That's beautiful because it just acknowledges that the structure of what I have just been going through, and I'm completely healed. And now I understand this chapter in the psychology book. I understand it now. It makes complete sense to me now. And it can be such a beautiful acknowledgement and like help to give yourself some understanding after the fact. That's how you will see it often. That it will work out for you. Yeah. So that's what makes the key tool unique. That's what makes it unique. And that's how these things fit together. All these things that you might already be doing and how they fit together with it. So I hope that gives you some clarity about the stuff. And may that help you towards being in continual union physically with your true twin flame. I choose now to explore the most complete depths of my being. I surrender my mind completely to God that He may bring it into perfect harmony with His. I invite God now into my very core. He may make it right, returning it perfectly to its state of eternal wholeness. I trust in the power of divine love. I choose to see the truth that it is universally accepted by all. At the core of every child of God, including me, we are all one with our twin flames and God. It is safe for me to open completely to love now. My love. Love is not elusive unless you command it so. But don't worry, you could not choose against love itself because you are love itself, manifest as you eternally. If you command it to leave, love does not leave, because it cannot possibly leave. But you leave love by the power of your command. And by that same power, you can command yourself to return to love. And so it is revealing to you that love never left. It is safe to let go. It is safe to relax into love's eternal presence. Love is calling you home, and I'll be there waiting. I have always been here with you, and I always will be. Your next step. Don't forget to actually start the process and jump on the team. Actively come to our community. Start doing the correct inner work and ask the support you deserve through our services so that we can start a relationship that will lead you to harmonious union and beyond. When you're not in a relationship, you're not on the team, and you can't expect the results I am speaking of and, in fact, guaranteeing. Currently, you are cordially invited to step into the group year course experience. This is the Twin Flame Mystery School you have been waiting for. I am looking for 9 people to step into this abundant opportunity. Twin Flame Abundance Now opens its doors on May the 1st. Start giving so that you can receive. The door closes as soon as I have my 9 people that will be successful in their journey. But first, we dance towards the opening of the door together. Join the launch of the Twin Flame Year Group Course of Your Dreams at creativeuniverse.earth/abundance now launch. Link below, I think. Yeah, and also in Patreon, of course. The show notes. You can, however, support this ongoing live Twin Flame news as such. Make it possible as co-creator. Without your participation and financial gifts, I cannot do anything because we need to have an energetic and verbal visual exchange for things to make sense and to know what I need to talk about for you. And also, we are on Earth, and that necessarily always works with money as a means to make sacred content actually physically flow. Therefore, I post the show notes in Patreon. Come over and enjoy. Have influence on the broadcasts. Don't miss out on the behind-the-scenes experience. Patreon.com/PEJ at Creative Universe or the link below. This month, the Patreon subscriber action is the Divine Love reading for the old price of €99 instead of the new one of €177. Why don't you share this with a friend? This whole video, you can get the link and post it on your Facebook because maybe someone else likes it too. I am Petra. I am in the consciousness state of Harmonious Twin Flame Union since March 2020. Worked with the new Christ Masters on Earth right now to roll this consciousness state out so everyone can enjoy the abundant life with their true twin flame soon enough after going in with me right here. Don't search any further. You reached what you were looking for. Om. Amen.